With E3 wrapping up, it's once again at that time of year where we can look back at all the big new game announcements. With this event being a digital only this year though, things were perhaps a little quieter than usual. However, there were some very nice reveals and announcements. In this video, I take a look at the titles that had a space theme to them. In some cases, that means being set on an extremely alien world. In others, it means spaceships provide for a backdrop. And in a few cases, it literally means flying through space in spaceships. This will be a pretty rapid fire video then, so let's get going. Sable is an extremely unique looking game, where you take control of a character and her glider. The visuals of the hoverbike have more than a little in keeping with Rey piloting her speeder across the deserts in Star Wars, and as you travel through the world, you will come across ancient ruins and long abandoned wrecks of spaceships. This title very much feels like the type of game that should be experienced rather than shown. It's great news then that the demo is available right now on Steam. You can download this anytime between the 16th and the 22nd of June. The link is in the video description, do check it out. Ixion is all about expansion into space. In this strategy game by Bulwark Studios, players will be able to build a city and explore the vast areas of space. The idea is to find a new home for humanity after life on Earth is no longer viable. The end of the trailer kind of gives away just how bad things actually get. The trailer shows nothing in the way of gameplay, so we're pretty much left guessing in that regards. That said, the video is certainly very atmospheric. The game then is a city building and colony management game. I've heard people make some tentative comparisons to Frostpunk, something that the developers themselves did say have some inspiration. Put in control of the vast Tycoon station, it's your job to ensure the station sustains its condition on a journey through the stars. Upgrades, survival and building along the way sound like key elements. Halo, of course, is one of the big AAA titles. Once again, the Master Chief is back, Spartan 117. There's a lot of history to Halo that naturally forms a part of the story in the new game, Halo Infinite. Whether or not though Halo is starting to get a bit long in the tooth at this point is certainly a subject on more than a few people's lips. Halo Infinite would also be a multiplayer as to be expected, and the game is coming in holiday 2021. It's hard to believe that the Avatar movie is now nearly 12 years old. Where does all that time go? It's certainly been a bit quiet on the Avatar front, however, with a bunch of movies on the way and now a brand new game announced, that is about to change. So the trailer showed no gameplay at all, but with the game coming from Ubisoft, I think we can all have some idea of what to expect. The world of Pandora then is truly beautiful, but the real question is whether or not the gameplay will be able to match that beauty. Avatar is coming to PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series as well as PC in 2022. Now there's not a whole lot to be said about the next game. The trailer itself summed up perfectly, letting us all know that there's basically nothing to discuss. And all of this was done in the typical humour of Outer Worlds. It's nice to know then that Outer Worlds 2 will be following in the same humour of the first game. Outer Worlds 1 of course was an awesome game, and with the ability to travel between planets, it truly felt like a multi-world spanning story. If Outer Worlds 2 can live up to that, it will be great. And if it can expand upon it, then we might just have a fantastic title on our hands. Time will tell. Building bases, communities and stations in space has always been an enthralling idea when it comes to games. Starmancer picks up on all of this then. Developed by Omnimax Games, the title will be going into early access in August of this year. The game was originally funded on Kickstarter back in 2018. So, Starmancer brings a cutesy graphical format and applies it to the space expansionist genre. The idea behind the game is to manage the lives of colonists as you help expand their home through crafting. Not only was Starfield one of the biggest games shown at E3, but it was also a true space game. How much of a space game it will be remains to be seen, but with the ability to pilot spaceships it has huge potential. Naturally, with Bethesda behind the game, the hype is somewhat muted, shall we say. Personally though, I think it's a good idea for it to stay that way. That said, if Bethesda can overcome all the problems they've had over the recent years and once again hit the winning formula of Skyrim, then Starfield just might be a truly great space game. Either way, we're going to have to wait until November 2022 to find out, but from what we've seen so far, it looks quite intriguing to say the least. Finally, the big no-show was Beyond Good and Evil 2. The last big showing we saw of this game was a few years ago at this point. Also, a nice playthrough that we saw of the game was back in 2019, and you can see the footage of that on the screen right now. And yeah, at the time it seemed suitably epic. What's happening with this game remains a complete mystery, and there has been some controversy surrounding it too. Hopefully it's still in production, and we'll get to hear about it sooner rather than later. That then brings us to an end of this video. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys and girls next time.